Hi, I'm Jay Lucas.
And I'm Karen Lucas.
And welcome to the Sunshine Report. You know, I think we've got such a terrific topic this week. It's all about life, and the topic this week is
So great.
life does not happen in a straight line. And you know, it really doesn't.
I know. I said, well, what does that really mean? And so here we are. We're going to share that with you today.
Yeah, you know, I think what it really means is that as we stand here looking forward, we always kind of project out into the future, thinking that, well, there might be some changes going forward, but it's going to be basically a straight line.
Right.
There'll be some trend lines from where we are today, and you can kind of begin to project where it's going to go. But the truth is, there are these massive dislocations, these changes, these circumstances that just happen. Whether it be, you know, we mentioned COVID is, you know, one of the things that has happened that I think nobody really could predict, of course. And lives changed, and some people, you know, there was great misfortune, but for other people, they found opportunity in that.
Right.
And I think that's a big example, but I think if you look in your own life, you'll find those what I'll call smaller instances where you something happened you just couldn't predict, and you have to course correct. And sometimes if you're really opportunistic and flexible, you can find a positive and go with it.
Well, is this really kind of like the fork in the road? Because even though, you know, fork, you know, takes you left or right, also it takes you straight because it's the direction you're going, right? And you've made a decision to go left or right and then go straight.
Well, you know, it is funny how it works. You know, some great examples
Yeah.
I can think of, but one in particular is Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, one of his favorite sayings actually is that life. If you look at your life going backwards, you can always connect those dots. You can connect those dots into a straight line and say, well, it all kind of makes sense because one thing led to another. But as you look into the future, not really the same. I mean, you really can't make those predictions. It's not a straight line. You got to kind of go with where the flow takes you and be able to react and change.
But it does actually, you know, I want to say connecting the dots, and they tend to be, could be a little zigzag, but eventually they actually are a straight line.
Well, I think where there's a will, there can be a straight line. You know, another example that I really like, and this one is not as well known as the Steve Jobs, but Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, who today, after Amazon, is doing things, exploring outer space, of course. And but here's one thing you might not have known, is that he was this is very interesting, he was the valedictorian of his high school class. And in his speech, what he said he wanted to do was do space travel. That was his desire. That was a career desire. He went on to become a physics major initially at Princeton. Thought he'd be a theoretical physicist, and instead created this little company called Amazon.
While he was going through that straight line of getting to be,
and then eventually connected the dots, which I think is really wild.
That's great.
But I think there's a lesson in all of this, and it is that you know, there are going to be those many unpredictable things, and as you look out into the next week, the next month, the next year, your life, you can plan some things, but there's a lot of things you can't plan.
That's so true.
And I think what that means is that you've got to be innovative, flexible, adaptable, and always looking for the positive. And I think if you look hard enough, you're going to find it, and you can ultimately be successful.
And not stress out about the fact that you can't control what you can't control, right? And so, you know, let it flow, and you'll see the results will really be positive.
Well, you know, that is such a great point, honey. And it is that positive vibe, right?
Right.
That's that positive vibe we love to instill here at the Sunshine Report, because as we say, it's positive energy that inspires positive change that produces positive results. So have a great week, everybody, and be adaptable, and just remember, life does not happen in a straight line.
Absolutely. And you know what? Happy New Year, everyone.